Hey, lovelies. It's Anne. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Claim Your Worth to Attract Everything You Desire Now training. That's a mouthful. I will give people a couple of moments. Hey, Letitia. Yay. I can get started. I only need one person to get started. I just wanted to make sure I was live. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to dive into some incredibly powerful information and change some of your deep rooted beliefs, and it's going to be awesome. I am super excited. I've been living, breathing, and dreaming this training for the, for the last 5 days. So I'm glad the day has finally come and I can deliver it. As you are hopping on, please say hi and tell me where in the world you're tuning in from. Letitia, I'm not sure I know where you live. I know you're somewhere in the US. I think you are anyway. So tell me where you're tuning in from. Also, tell me what you'd love to get out of this training, if you have something in particular in mind. If not, just keep an open mind and be ready to be blown away by everything that I have to share. If you know anyone who you think will benefit from this training, I'd love you to invite them to this community and tag them on this training. As one of my whys when it comes to my business is to have a positive impact on as many people as possible. Hey, Emine, thank you for joining me. And there's no topic that's more crucial for women than owning their worth. And I'm sure you'll agree, right? So, for those of you who are new to my world, I'm Anne Ryan. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I'm a business mentor and mindset coach, and I help my clients to own their worth and ditch their money blocks so they can create high ticket offers and sell them with ease. Hey, Lisa, thanks so much for joining. Oh, you're in Atlanta. Awesome, Letitia. I know Lisa's in Minnesota and M&A, I think you're in Sydney. So as you're hopping on, yeah, tell me where in the world you're joining from as well, because I like to know. I like to know. So owning your worth is the foundation to achieve everything you desire. And I want to start by sharing a little story about myself and how I spent years and years trying to be someone else, and still sometimes fall back into that trap of wanting to blend, as I don't want to take up too much space, you know. M&A Sydney, yeah, awesome. So, my story. Growing up, my parents moved a lot, right? And I was always in the minority. You know, I was the brown person in a predominantly white person's world. Minnesota, Lisa. Um, Look, I didn't mind that, right? I never had any issues with that, but I didn't feel like I entirely belonged. So I tried to blend. So I didn't stand out as being different. I tried to look the same, and there was not much I could do about my skin color, but I'd dress the same. I'd pick up accents really quickly so I sounded the same. I did everything I could to not be too different because I didn't want to draw too much attention to me, right? Because I didn't feel like I was enough. See, this goes back to my childhood when my parents moved a lot, as I said, right? We lived in 4 different countries and I went to 8 different schools. So me too with accent says M&A. Oh my gosh, I learned that really early on. If you don't want to get teased, you need to sound the same. Yeah, and so I pick up accents really, really quickly and easily. From a young age, I could see that the kids that got bullied were the ones that were different, right? So, whilst there were sort of obvious things that I could not change, I still wanted to blend, right? I mean, as kids, and I think you'll relate to this, we were taught, not to show off, not to be noisy, not to be annoying, otherwise people wouldn't like us, right? I mean, I still tell my kids that. So, and in some cases, even parents didn't like us unless we behaved a particular way. So our self-worth beliefs stem right back to our childhood. Once I even went to university, right, and knew that I was pretty much responsible for myself from that point forward, I changed again. But now I became the life and soul of the party, right? And I partied hard. I was the most fun person. I was really popular. Everyone wanted to hang out with me because, I was fun. And that was like my next persona in my sort of 18 to 22 kind of age bracket because um, that's who I wanted to be in order to be liked. And then it was really around my late 20s after meeting my husband Michael that I really I really started to discover who I was because I'd been so many different personas up until then. And now I was like, you know, I was married, I was living with someone 24/7, and, I had to sort of be myself. And then in my early 30s, I continued to party, by the way, in my 20s. And then in my early 30s, I chose to just stop the partying, and that's when I kind of settled down and we had kids. Um, and then I got caught up in the identity of being a mum, right? I don't know if you can relate to all these different stages because I know we all have such different lives. And, then it was about being a mum and who I thought a good mum needed to be, right? And it was really in my late 30s that I had an is this it kind of moment and really started to find myself. And I went on this huge personal development journey that I'm still on today. And I started learning everything I could get my hands on. Really, I became quite a junkie. Letitia, you can relate. Right? And I think this is reasonably normal, right? For most people to have these sort of different stages. Some kids, some people have like the confidence right from the beginning. So perhaps they didn't feel like they needed to be anyone else, and perhaps they could completely be themselves. But yeah, that's essentially was my experience. And yeah, and it was in my late 30s that I really started working on my own healing, right? And starting to embrace who I am. And then in my mid to late 40s is when I felt really called to start this coaching business and to start helping other women, right? Because I knew I'd come such a long way. Lisa, you can relate as well, right? And that's the thing. We all take on, hey Holly, thanks for joining. We take on all these different identities at different stages in our lives just because we think that's the right thing to do. We think who we are is not enough and we need to be someone else in order to be liked, in order to be approved of, in order to be validated, and so much more. Um, so, when I talk about self-worth and being enough as who we are, it's not to say that we can't grow as people, right? Because it's constant evolution, right? Over our lifetime, we are going to continue to grow and evolve and so much more. Yes, I feel like that all the time. Look, it's really, really, it's just so normal because of society and the way it is, and I'm going to share a whole lot more, and hopefully you'll be able to identify exactly where it is that there's some work that we can all do, right? So wanting to grow, wanting to be a better person, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we have to love who we are and intentionally choose what areas of ourselves that we'd like to improve, right? And not feel like we have to be someone that we're not just to please others. So, even recently, and just a few months ago, this work is ongoing, ladies. Like, this work is ongoing. Just a few months ago, as a successful entrepreneur myself, I joined a high level mastermind, and I've shared about this, right? And I had these feelings of not being enough come up for me all over again, right? The other women in this mastermind, beautiful women, were having 100K months. And my coach, who was leading the mastermind, was celebrating a $1 million month, right? While I was only making $25,000 a month. So I immediately felt like I wasn't good enough. Only $25,000 a month. Seriously? I know how ludicrous that sounds, by the way, right? I know. I know. Wow, Letitia. See, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. In that moment, I felt like I wasn't enough because I started comparing myself. In that moment, the fact that I had achieved all these different successes in my life, the fact that I had a hugely successful business in the construction industry as well, none of that mattered. In that moment, I was back to proving myself all over again. Only I wish. Holly, give me $25,000 a month, Letitia. I get it. Comparison is the thief of joy, Martha. So true, right? Ladies, I'm not for a moment saying I don't feel incredibly grateful, right? I do, but I'm being super honest and sharing my experiences and how this work around worthiness is ongoing, right? Some of my uplines just hit seven figures in Bling Boss. Awesome, Letitia. And and there's nothing, it's good to have aspirations. It's good to aspire for more, right? It's good to have goals. I don't think any of that is wrong. But yes, when we get into that comparison, that's when we start feeling like we're not enough, right? And I was back to, this is just months ago, right? And I was back to feeling unworthy just because I was in a mastermind with women who were seemingly better than me. Crazy, right? But that's what happens when we see people as being better than us. See, we can choose to see everything that's different, like the differences. So, ladies, you can choose to see me and compare yourselves to me and see everything that's different about us, right? Or we can choose to see everything that's the same. because we will find just as many things that are similar as will find that are different. And we can easily make situations, any situation that has no meaning, mean something that it's not. We put meaning to situations that it's not, right? By the way, all these experiences that I've shared, right, about my childhood, about the mastermind, it had nothing to do with anyone else, right? It was all me. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It was 100% me and the meaning that I put to everything. And that's what we do every single day. We put meaning to things, right? We compare, we judge. So because we judge, we feel judged, right? It's all those experiences that I had was because of how I chose to show up. And it was what I made those situations mean. I'd love to know, have you found yourselves at any stage being in those kinds of situations where, you don't feel like you're enough? You feel like you need to be someone different. You don't want to be too much either because you're afraid of being yourself. I'd love to know. Let me just quickly catch up on comments. So Emine says, that's what I call getting into someone else's flow, trying to be like someone else or achieve the same things as someone else doesn't align with you and gets you off track. Absolutely, Emine, 100%. And the good thing is when we have the awareness, then we can bring ourselves back to center. But there are so many people who just don't have that awareness, right? And that becomes their truth. Growing up, I didn't have that awareness. I have a ton more awareness now, and I can. It's very normal for us to have these good and bad days around our worthiness. That's really normal. We can easily get triggered. That's normal. But then bringing ourselves back to center and just kind of going, no, 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 no. That's just me making up stories in my head. Martha says, true, we can choose to think this is happening for me or to me. Absolutely. Yes, love that. Judging makes you feel judged. So true, Emine. Yes, all the time, especially during my lives. Facebook Lives, Letitia, totally. I'm going to talk a bit more about that too. Lots of times getting better at being myself, says Martha. Yes, learning. Lisa, awesome, awesome, awesome. And that's why I love sharing these trainings, because it just increases awareness, right? So the first step is to realize when we have false beliefs about ourselves and to acknowledge it, right? Just in our awareness of it, we immediately begin the healing process to change. It's the lack of awareness that's the problem, right? So how do we know we may feel unworthy? The fastest way is to look at what you're attracting in your life now. Are you always attracting the wrong partner, right? In your love life, in dating, that kind of thing. Often you see these patterns, right? And it stems from worthiness. Are you attracting clients who can't afford you? Are you feeling in lack and scarcity? Are you wondering Why the hell? Why is it? Why is it that others seem to have it all, and why not you? When we don't feel worthy, our outside world matches just how we feel on the inside, right? This is quite confronting. This is really confronting to realize this. But when we don't feel like we are enough for the things we desire and deserve, we end up deflecting any good that may want to come our way. And we do this subconsciously without realizing it, right? So we may stay in a job that we hate. We settle for partners that don't value who we are. We feel uncomfortable treating ourselves to nice things and allowing ourselves to experience things that we feel are just, too much because we're not worthy of it. It's too much, right? And we definitely don't invest in ourselves as we see it as a cost. Not an investment, but a cost, because we feel like a gamble. We don't feel worthy, we feel like a gamble. So I'd love to know who here has invested in themselves and not got a return. So let me give you some examples of this. So it may have been that you bought something expensive that you really loved, right? Like a handbag or sunglasses or something else, and then you lost it. So suddenly you kind of had this whole story around you're not worthy because you just lose things. Or you've invested in some training or got some education or worked with a coach and you got nothing. You got no benefit from it at all. Let me know in the comments. So does, right? Where does self-worth truly come from? I'm going to share a few examples and tell me which ones kind of you feel apply to your situation and your life. Maybe your self-worth comes from your peers, right? Maybe you feel better about yourself when you're with friends who care and want to be with you. Maybe you feel worthy when somebody buys you a gift or does something nice for you, does a favor for you. You may walk in worthiness because you have a partner who loves you, right? So that love from your partner is what makes you feel worthy. Somebody who truly knows you and desires you, to be with you and only you, that may be what makes you feel worthy. Someone who makes you feel like an absolute priority. Another human being who wants to connect with you fully in every single way, would that make you feel worthy? It's possible that it's your children, right? They give you a high level of self-worth. You brought them into this world and parent them to the best of your ability. So you know that you are doing something, something amazing with these tiny humans. And that feeling alone makes you feel worthy. As your children are, growing up, you feel worthy because you've raised them well. So that's kind of like a badge of honor for your worthiness. Maybe you derive your self-worth from how you look, your appearance. You follow like this incredible morning routine, and you look flawless, and you go into this, you have beautifully done makeup, and you spend 15 minutes on your hair, making it look amazing in this perfect bun, maybe a messy bun. You dress yourself in the most flattering colors because you know that's what makes you look the best. You're following the trends, you love fashion, you believe others will love you more because of the way you look. Does being viewed as smart, beautiful, put together, or just a little bit messy so you don't look too put together, does that feed your self-worth? Do you have a higher self-worth because of the things that you have? You know, the size of your house. Does that make you feel more valuable? Is it the brand of your car that makes you feel better about yourself? Are you sort of always getting the best phone and the best TV and all the gadgets because you know it feeds into the way you view yourself? None of these things are bad on their own. It's about understanding whether the things you own inflate you and raise your confidence level, defining your worthiness. Do you feel more worthy when you say the right things? Use the right words, do the right things, act the right way, whatever right is. When you're grammatically incorrect or say something you feel is stupid on a Facebook Live, does your self-worth immediately go down? You know, you see that spelling mistake after you've posted something and like beat yourself up. When you write an amazing blog article or deliver the perfect line that makes absolutely everyone laugh, or you ace that job interview, does that make you feel better? Does all of this make you feel more worthwhile? Do you get self-worth from the things you say and do? Let me catch up again on comments. Um, Letitia says, I got some security training but got jacked. Oh, Letitia, I'm sorry to hear that. Um, you know, things like that happen, right? But then we can't beat ourselves up about it, and because and make it about us and we didn't do the right research and we didn't, because it was just one of those things that just happened. Martha says, we've invested in courses in the past, and even the ones that didn't work out taught me what I didn't want in the future. Absolutely. There's a lesson in everything, right? Yes, my kids give me life, says Letitia. I don't attach my self-worth to material things, says Martha. My kids also give me life along with my husband and friends. I do have a great support team. Grammar kills my self-worth, but working on it, says Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Thank you for joining. See, and what all these mean, all of the different examples that I shared means is that we aren't loving ourselves enough and valuing our own worth just for who we are. For us to truly know our worth, it requires much more than what we say or do. It requires us to let go of finding our worthiness in what is external. So the only place to start, like always, is inside ourselves, right? So we acknowledge our feelings, accept it without judgment, bringing it into your awareness, and that's where the work begins. So I'm going to share now some fun things, some actions that you can choose to take immediately, right? And the work is ongoing, right? The work is ongoing. But taking this type of action will allow yourself to feel worthy and exceptional, right? And this is where it begins. So to claim your worth, you just have to do it. You declare your worth to yourself and start acknowledging your desires. Start figuring out what would add a little spring to your step, because it's all about the small things, right? And the compound effect of the small things. We don't have to do something massive today. What gives you butterflies of excitement in your stomach just by thinking of it? See, when we live an ordinary life, not in line with our purpose and dreams, we can't help but feel complacent or bored or irrelevant or just average, right? If you're not happy in your job, this is just an example, then seriously, quit. I'm not telling everyone to go and quit their jobs, by the way, if they have jobs, but these are the sorts of things that can make a huge difference to self-worth. There's nothing more soul-sucking than staying in a job that we hate, right? Follow your passion. Make a decision. Start taking small steps, and the universe will reward you. See, no matter what your life circumstances are, you can change them and own your worthiness. There'll always be reasons why something isn't possible. Always. But instead of focusing on why something isn't possible, start focusing on how you can achieve them instead. And be open to what the universe is trying to tell you, because there are messages everywhere. And if you're watching this training today, because like on social media, we see some things and we don't see others, right? So if you're watching this today, or you've been following me for a reason for a while, these are all messages from the universe. Start taking small steps that will slowly make you smile with pride and with confidence. Push yourself outside your comfort zone a little bit every day. When you start to make yourself happy, you become an unstoppable, powerful force. Right? Everything else can't help but fall into place as you do. When you start to honor your desires, go after them, achieve them, you are sending the message out into the universe that you are worthy and enough for these things. And you, in turn, start to feel proud and worthy for honoring your exceptional life away from mediocrity. right? It's a little bit like the chicken and the egg. You've got to start taking the action first, and then, the worthiness and the universe starts listening and hearing, and you start getting more. So tell me, what small action can you take? I'd love to know. Second thing, make a decision to feel worthy, right? And I'm going to use a car analogy. You have to start being a Ferrari in a world of Fords. Not that a Ford isn't a good car, right? It's a great car, but it's an everyday car, right? And you may not want a Ferrari, and that's okay. I'm just using this as an analogy. You see a million Fords on the road every day, and they're pretty affordable and they're safe. But how often do you see a Ferrari? So be that woman, the one that's hard to come by because she's powerful, she stands up for what she believes in, and she owns it. Be that woman that other women admire for her power, for her confidence, for her glow. Be the valuable limited edition badass that you are, right? Unapologetically get comfortable in your own skin, empower your voice, ask for what you want, be powerful, be the irresistible Ferrari. You know, stand with your shoulders back, hold your head up high, feel that newfound confidence, knowing that you are far from ordinary. When we carry ourselves like that, we'll turn heads everywhere just from that energy that we give off, right? And when you're in that energy, it's inevitable that you'll attract incredible clients who will match your inside worth just in you owning it, believing it, and not settling for yet another Ford. Again, no offense to Ford or Ford owners. It was just sharing an, a car analogy. So I'd love to know, does that feel hard? Can you today do something to stand in your power more, to be more confident, to carry yourself and change the energy that you currently have? I love the Ferrari analogy. Thank you, Martha. Um, so I'd love to know, what can you take? What can you do today? Make a commitment to yourself. This is not to me. It makes zero difference to my life, right? But make this commitment to yourself. Number 3, the third thing you can do today is invest in something, just even a little bit, that will serve as a reminder of your worthiness, right? I'm not talking about going out and buying a Ferrari, by the way. It could be something as simple as a manicure or investing in a coach or a program or a training or something that you've been thinking about doing to up-level yourself and your business. The more resistance you have towards investing in something, the more I know it's actually the best thing for you to choose. Now, I love nice things, right? Give yourself permission to have nice things. You deserve it. Nice things, by the way, don't have to be expensive things, right? But things that you really desire, things that you want, things, that'll make you feel good. You deserve it and are worthy of that, right? We all are. Our human bodies are a fun expression of our soul, right? It should reflect who and what we are on the inside. Allow yourself to be the woman you once felt envious of instead of being resentful that you can't be her. Rather than playing the victim role, empower yourself by being who you want to be, right? Without making excuses for the unconscious worthiness blocks that you may have. I've had them, right? So they're very familiar friends to me too. If you're uncomfortable around someone with expensive things, chances are it's a message from your higher self to allow yourself to have them too. Just because we were one way our whole lives doesn't mean that it defines who we are forever, right? And that's a really important thing to remember. We are allowed to change, to grow, to own our power, to stand up for what we desire because we know how hard we worked, right? To own that part of ourselves. So go and do something and give yourself something as a reminder to yourself of your own worthiness. And I'd love to know what you have in mind. If you know now, tell me if you next week, if something comes to mind, if it's a particular ring or a necklace or anything, getting your nails done, just because you're worth it. I love buying beautiful journals and pens that write smoothly. Nice. Yeah, I do too. Champagne is my reward. Yes, Deborah, I love it. That's the point, right? So this is just the beginning of the work on self-worth, which is ongoing, right? And I wanted to sort of keep this to within an hour. And I just wanted to share, I didn't want to overwhelm by sharing 1,000 different things that can be done. But manicure, pedicure, awesome, Lisa. I really want one too because we've been in lockdown and we're just opening up. So I need to book that and I need to book a haircut. I haven't had a haircut in like 7 months. It's all got all these split ends and things happening. So, but yeah, I want this stuff because I'm worth it, right? And I feel good when I have it done. So this is the beginning, ladies. I hope I've planted some seeds and given you some things to think about and raised your awareness of where you may be lacking self-worth, right? And unless you acknowledge and address your mindset around this, no matter how much you tell yourself that you are worthy, the voices in your head will tell you otherwise, right? And here's the thing, owning your worth is the foundation to achieving everything you desire. If you don't believe you're worth it, even subconsciously, even though you're saying, I'm worth it, I'm worth it, I'm worth it, but subconsciously you don't believe you're worth it, you won't get it. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about love, and I'm talking about happiness and all the other things in between. Without the inner work, you cannot be an energetic match to receive everything you desire. To achieve everything you desire, you have to move past where you are now, right? Not because you're not good enough today. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a level of empowerment you have where you are now, right now, today, right? You have a level of empowerment, and that's effortless for you. Right now, that's effortless, right? You're going to need to do the work to become more empowered, to stop fighting against what you really want and stop feeling fear to get what you really want. Let me catch up on some. Lisa says, me too for the haircut. Yes, nails and toes. Thank you so much. I am worthy. Absolutely. Absolutely. The only thing you need to be an energetic match to everything you desire is to believe with 100% certainty that it is available to you. And if you think you've got everything you need now, right, and you know how to become that energetic match, then that's awesome. I'm so happy for you, right? Truly. What got you here won't get you there. Exactly. Exactly, right? But if you feel like you need a bit more help, you want to do more rewiring around your blueprint, right? Your personality, who you are, then I have a 7-day deep dive intensive, which I've been talking about a little bit recently. It starts next week. It's called Money, Money, Money. It is very money focused, but how we do money is how we do everything, right? So it starts on Monday and it is going to blow your mind. It's so good. It has helped me to go from second guessing my every move to consistently having multiple 5-figure months. I have completed this program as a student myself, and I've delivered the program many, many times, and I've improved it. And now, for the first time, I'm delivering it at a super affordable price in a group program, and I know how powerful it's going to be. In the program, you'll learn to step into your power and have power over money. So many people feel like money has power over them. Does that resonate for you? In this program, you will have power over money. If you want to learn about money so you have the power over it and not the other way around, this program is going to be awesome, and I'd love you to join if you feel it might help you. It's $333. Just send me a private message and I'll share the link, and you can make 2 payments over the next 2 weeks if that helps. We will meet every single day at 9:30 a.m. Melbourne time, which is 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the US and Canada. We'll be connecting on Zoom. It'll be intimate, it'll be all recorded, and there'll be workbooks and it'll be available in a private Facebook group. So you can have access and watch it over and over and over again. It'll be highly interactive and you'll be able to ask me absolutely anything. Every day, we'll be focusing on a very different topic and completing some really practical exercises which will build and have the compound effect day on day on day. And on day 7, we'll just review all that we've learnt, reflect on it all, answer any questions that you might have, and celebrate. I embody everything that I teach, right? I do the work all the time, and the work is ongoing. So if you want to learn how to join, if you want to learn about this and want to know how to join and want to do this deep work next week, send me a private message. And I'd love to hang out with you for a whole week and help you have incredible shifts, right? That you never imagined was possible for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful to you all for joining me today. I really enjoyed delivering this training. I know how busy life is, and I really appreciate you making the time to join me today. If you know anyone that will benefit from this training, I'd love you to invite them into this community and tag them on this training so I can spread my message as well. Thank you again. I appreciate you all. I'm so glad you enjoyed the session, Lisa. I appreciate you all. And if you have any questions, even after you've had time to process everything you've learned, then drop them in the comments and I will pop back and have a look. And you'll be able to, if you feel like you might benefit from watching the replay, you can watch the replay as well. I'll leave this up for a couple of days. I haven't actually decided what I'm going to do, but it'll be up for a couple of days at least, because I know a few people couldn't make it live. So thanks, Deborah. Thank you, Emine. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, everyone. And I will see you guys around probably tomorrow. Okay, bye.